Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Walker Talks. I'm Lacey Smith with the Walker County Chamber, and today I think I'm sitting between two of the most loved people in Walker County, Pastor Ashley New from the Gordon Lake Wesleyan Church, also a board member of the Chamber, and Robert Wardlaw of Lucky IQ Barbecue.
Hi, friend.
We are so excited to have you here and share some of your wisdom. Some people know you from your days at Coca-Cola. Others know you from your time at the Walker County Development Authority. And now you've ventured into a successful role as entrepreneur.
Now we're doing the fun stuff.
Now you're doing the fun stuff. Tell us what you've been up to the last couple of years.
Well, we've been developing that, getting the restaurant to a place where to accomplish what we as a team are trying to accomplish over there. And as corny as it may sound, that tagline we use of the love through barbecue at this stage of my life, that one truly is for the love of the cooking and how to communicate love to other people through food. And I really do believe, genuinely, I believe that food is kind of the universal language of love.
I would agree with that. I don't know about you.
Absolutely. I think if you've traveled around anywhere around the world or the country, all these regional foods, there's always a connection that people have through food. And I'm not talking about the love of barbecue. I'm talking about love through the barbecue, not love of the barbecue.
It's a service for you all. I mean, it's almost like a family atmosphere when you walk into the restaurant.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got a great team. Most of those guys over there have been with me from the very start. I was telling Alicia earlier about the turnover. We don't have turnover over there. And I think it's because we all set our sights on what we want to accomplish over there early. And I think, as you actually said, no, it's a real service to open a business like that, or to not be thinking of a profit motive when it comes to that. But as I told you then, I mean, all my time working for Coca-Cola I loved it. I loved Coca-Cola and believed in Coca-Cola completely, but I was doing that to make money, to pay bills, and try to hopefully educate my daughter. And I think the premise of this show is entrepreneurialism.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Share with us your words of wisdom.
And so I think you got to be clear in what the purpose is, especially when it comes to something like this phase of my 65-year-old life. That barbecue was something that I always wanted to do, but it wasn't a practical thing to do. When I was 35 years old, I had to try to make a living. And you're certainly not going to make a living in a restaurant if you're trying to. Some people out there, and I see y'all, we have our show on Wednesday night. Some of the folks that'll be watching this also, we interact every Wednesday night on our little Barbecue Talk live show. And I've always asked somebody, if you make a big living at a restaurant, then I want to meet them. It's not set up for that. And Alicia, you and I kind of talked about this before. The patience to understand that. So instead of opening that restaurant when I was 35, knowing that you can't make a living, I'm not saying that you can't do well. This isn't any type of a sob story thing. It's just the honest truth. If you're trying to educate your children, put them through college, and you want to gift them with a college situation, you're probably not going to do it in a restaurant. Mm-hmm. It's probably not going to happen. So I kept that in the back of my mind all the years I was working for Coke, and all my Coca-Cola friends out there, if you're watching, will tell you that wherever I was in the country working for Coca-Cola, I always had my smoker with me, and I was cooking all those years, keeping this future idea of a restaurant in mind, but being patient to get financially stable first.
Hmm.
And it's a massive advantage.
That's big advice. You know, our last podcast, we had a younger entrepreneur on, and he made the statement that, you know, there were 2 to 4 years where I just didn't know if I was going to make it. I had to grind it out. And we live in a world of instant gratification with this younger generation. They want to see the results now, and they want them to be positive and successful. And, but you show that, hey, I had to grind it out for, you know, decades before I could actually get to do what I actually love and what contributes to the community. So what advice do you give to those young entrepreneurs that have the stars in their eyes and hoping to make it work?
I think the value, this intermingles in terms of, for me personally, it intermingles with faith as well. And I know this isn't a show on that, but it's part of it is to understand what you're trying to accomplish and to enjoy the process of delaying that gratification, to truly enjoy, have gratitude in your heart for a money making job and enjoy those years with in this case, like, I love to cook. I love to share food with people because I enjoy being around people. I love interacting with people, and food is the best way because I've always felt like I feel like we were all blessed with something that we're good at, and my personal approach. And Alicia, if you don't want me to talk about this, you can take it right on out of here. But I'm just sharing with you my approach. And that is, I do believe we were all given something that we're good at. And our job as part of creation, our job is to try to reflect back whatever that talent is. See if you can reflect back to creation something that's a net positive, something that has brought things up a little bit or advanced things a little bit, and to understand what you're good at and what you're not good at. And I call it the game. It's only my game, it's an internal game of what is my purpose here on this earth. Well, to try to take whatever minor talent and turn it into something that reflects positively back. And that sounds so, uh, I guess it sounds almost silly, but I'm not telling anyone else they should think like that. I'm only sharing openly how I view it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I'm gone, if I have, the food is the only way for me because I have no talents.
That is not true.
It is true.
It's so not true. So
it is true. It is true, but that's not a put down of I'm not putting it down. I'm telling the truth. I've got all my friends and my coworkers there at the restaurant that are so talented at everything, and I'm not, and that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, well, I disagree. And here's why. You were talking about your net positive. This goes far beyond the scope of a restaurant and barbecue. And I love your motto of love through barbecue. What a beautiful message and mission to have. But you have essentially helped revitalize an entire portion of what is now being connected to the downtown part of Lafayette on the west side of Lafayette in the Mars Theater District. There's new life in that entire corridor now because of you. If you drive through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there's a line of people waiting. You can look at the car tags. They're from all over the region, coming to get barbecue in Lafayette, Georgia. So
But that has nothing to do with me.
I
That's
don't know.
our whole business over there is centered. This team, we have a total of 31 people at that restaurant. Some of us are volunteer, 3 or 4 of us are volunteer, the rest are compensated. Um, and we share, we are a very customer centric. That's the focus. The love through barbecue is to the customers, and we share that. So everything about the blessing of having a line at the restaurant has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you guys that show up over there and have created, uh, let's say, vitalization of a. I feel like we are a positive contribution to Lafayette, the local economy there. Absolutely, I don't deny that. I can see it in the sales tax that's collected, and especially from out of town on some. And I always thank all the folks from Chattanooga and the surrounding areas in Dalton and Catoosa County and Catoosa, Chattooga, and Dade that come and thank them in Walker County and Lafayette. We have, for I guess forever, most sales generated. We are an exporter of that to Catoosa and Hamilton County primarily because that's where the services are. It's absolutely nothing more than that. The the services, we are, I guess, a somewhat of a, would you say, a bedroom community, somewhat of Chattanooga, and the services are up there. But the whole point is the customers are the ones that run our business, not us. I never look at that place and say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, all I'm doing is facilitating our family of customers, and this whole team, this crew of folks over there that you see whenever you come in there. We're all thinking the same way. Some of us are more experienced and older, and some of the folks there are younger, playing a vital role in that place. They may not be as experienced as some of the older folks in there that understand. They may, in fact, be there thinking, this place pays really good for a restaurant. They may be there just for the paycheck. Mm-hmm. And that's okay as long as they are understanding. In order to work there, you better love the customers and treat them with total respect. And it's not a slogan, it is absolutely a prerequisite to working there, a condition.
So you're saying a lot without saying it in many ways as it relates to your success as an entrepreneur, in that in your humbleness you realize what's gotten your business where it is today. And I think there's things to learn there, right? For entrepreneurs that are out there, maybe listening to this, is that number one, be humble. Number two, do what you love, do it with love and through love, and love those who are doing it alongside you. And then be sure to show gratitude. I mean, you're a man of gratitude and saying, hey, when we add an extra building outside for people to be able to sit in and add more picnic tables, it's nothing we've done. The people have demanded. That's what you're saying, right? They demanded this by showing up. And so I think your posture of humbleness and love and caring and gratitude has been a lot of the success why you've seen a lot of the success.
I'm glad you paraphrase that back. That's exactly it. And I'll say on our show almost every Wednesday, as soon as you guys get tired of what we have to offer, I will virtually and literally hug everybody that's ever been in there. Thank you for what you gave us for however long you give it to us. And when people get tired of coming in the place, then there'll be no bitterness for me. From personally, I've already gotten the satisfaction, the enjoyment of giving through the food. It's already over. Nothing can hurt me personally now because you've already given it to us. And nothing stays forever. And I tell the team almost every week, one day the folks may get tired if we get complacent or we get, I always use the word hubris. And I ask the younger ones, look it up, look up the word hubris and understand if you're 19 years old and you're working in that restaurant, you may think, well, that's what restaurants are like. This is cool. There's a bunch of restaurants out there. Well, I'm telling them, no, they're not all.
I mean,
not everyone's being
right.
blessed as you're being blessed, and the tipping rate that our customers. I never expected that would be a big tipping environment because it's a cafeteria style service model, but it is great, and we compensate for our high expectations. We compensate in the same way that we expect.
Well, and I want to touch too on your retention rate because we spoke on it briefly. You literally don't have turnover in the restaurant industry, in one of the hardest, most difficult industries for an entrepreneur to get started, to survive, to build up momentum, to have consistent staffing, and to not have turnover. Tells me that your team is bought in too.
Well, I think we established that from the start. I if you were asking if any of my friends in business were asking about that, I would just say you've got to be very genuine from the very beginning about what your expectations are. And for us, I'll just speak for myself personally, and most everybody on our team would say, "Yeah, this is how it feels." I don't ever want to hear about. I don't want to hear about we need to be as good as. Let me just mention like one of the standard setters of service, like a Chick-fil-A, which I have huge respect for. I don't want to hear from the team about, well, Chick-fil-A doesn't make so and so do that. I don't care. I'm not trying to be Chick-fil-A. I've got in my mind a higher level of respect that can be given to customers. And I don't want to hear about Cracker Barrel. I don't want to hear about Chick-fil-A, the other standard bearers. They have somebody in that organization had a vision of what they wanted to do for customers. Well, I have one too. And it doesn't have anything to do with meeting another standard that someone else set. I have a different kind of standard in my mind. And our team knows, and I mean this with all of my heart, the day we cannot deliver, I will simply walk out there, put those padlocks on that door, and I will shut it down before we deteriorate in our respect to the customers. And I mean it. I really do. If we had to compromise down and become haughty and arrogant and unappreciative and jaded to the blessings that we've been given, I promise you I'll walk out with those two padlocks, clamp it down, and I'll go to the house and be thankful for every single minute that you beautiful people gave us over there.
There's a lesson there, a lot of lessons about. This is maybe a podcast I go back and watch. Yeah. I don't get to watch them all, but I do. But just to hear your dedication and your commitment, those things are so important these days. As a pastor in my church, I'm doing things the Bible says that you serve people as unto the Lord, as if you're serving the Lord, right? And again, that's my context. And I tell my people all the time, we're going to do things with excellence, or we won't do it at all.
That's it.
We say that in my church. We won't do it at all. Either we do it well, or we won't do it, because this is the Lord's work and it demands it. Well, yours is a different context, but you see the importance of quality and taking care of people and leadership, and that started from way back. And I want to bring up a story that kind of got you, I think, where you are in years past. But I remember your heart being about caring and serving and doing what was right and doing things well. And we had an event, a Senior Citizens Day, years ago, and this must have been 7-8 years ago, and I was there and I was volunteering and helping, and you were outside cooking the meat for the event. And I walked out and you were showing me your smoker and all the work you were doing, and you had been there, I think, all night.
All night. Yep.
All night working for your community.
And Sherman.
And Sherman
was with me.
Yes,
sure. And he's been there with me all along.
Sherman's been there all along. And you were doing this for your community and to show these senior adults how much they matter to you and to this community as a whole. And you said to me then, actually, I love this so much, and I hope one day that I can do it every day for this community. And it wasn't about the money or the success or the acknowledgement, as the best barbecue in the state of Georgia. You weren't after that. You were after it to make an impact in your community and make people smile and feel good about themselves and feel love through barbecue, right?
That's right. That's true.
I remember those days. And you,
of course, you've been there.
Well, I remember you're so talented, and I knew you from a business capacity, being involved with the chamber.
I'm not talented.
You were talented with people, probably far more than you realize, but you also went at that even from a heart of, I want to give back to the community. I want to make, the barbecue for the Senior Citizens Day, which is one of the happiest events I think we've ever been a part of. It's coming up on May 13th, by the way, at the Walker County Civic Center. But for you to be able to do that, and I remember you were so meticulous about how you did the barbecue, and that has translated beautifully into your restaurant, the quality, because that's a big thing in the restaurant industry too, is just quality control, making sure it tastes just as good every single time when you go in.
You got it for sure. I mean, that is absolutely one of the things that Sherman and I talk with the team about every day is it can't be different. And it's tough to resist the idea that people say, I want you to do French fries. I want you to do fried fish. I love French fries and fried fish, but we're not going to do French fries and fried fish simply because when you look at the space allotment and the ability to focus on being good at something, you have to make sacrifices. And I also know when people say you should be open on Sundays, it'd be dynamite. You'll do great on Sundays or open up more days. And I understand that financially. I understand what would happen if we opened up on Sundays. I mean, I'm not oblivious to what would happen. I know Sunday would be lucrative financially. However, that's our one semi day of rest. And every other day, now we're working a little bit on Sundays as it is, because we have caterings just about I just.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And I was in there preparing that catering for Ashley's congregation that Sunday afternoon. But on Mondays, we're in there we're trimming briskets and we're making sausages on Monday. Those are hand processes. On Tuesday, Dale is back there mixing up sauces, and everything is done by hand in there. On Wednesday, we're cooking brisket for Thursday, and on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're blessed being wide open. So to open up more days for more money, something's going to have to go.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you become what I don't want to become, and that is run of the mill. It's not special anymore. So I guess
So real quick, I want to. How do you, as a leader, navigate that decision, right? As to where I won't. Well, maybe we say it the cliche: quality is not as important as, or quantity is not as important as quality, and like we don't want to sacrifice what the excellence that we offer just for the sake of more, because that's what a lot of entrepreneurs chase right now is more, 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 and they're willing to sacrifice quality to do it.
but I don't blame them. I don't blame or judge that at all. People open businesses to make money. I worked at Coca-Cola. Yes, I loved it, but I did that for money to try to establish myself and my family. There's a big advantage. So I never want to come off like, hey, I'm doing this and I don't care about money. Well, I'm 65 years old and worked 40 years for money. It's nothing. There's no big pat on the back to be. I guess in a cliche term, it would be like, well, easy for you to say at 65 years old after working for Coca-Cola for 40 years, and I'm saying the exact same thing. There's no pat on the back because it's self-serving because it makes me so happy. It is self-serving, but it's not money. It's the satisfaction of seeing y'all walk in that restaurant and visiting at the table if I can get off the board to do it. Um, but in the decision making for that, that's part of the reason that we compensate our team very well. And part of that is the benefits of a decision like opening more days would mean more money to the team, but I don't want to do it. So I pay them well for what we do. Just be really good at what we do so that the team is not paying a price for mine and I include, Sherman in on this and uh, in the way we think about and approach the business. And that probably is not really very clear what I just said, but I don't want the team to pay the price for my restraint in making that decision to not be open more days because I want to be great 3 days. I don't want to be good 5 days. I want to be great for 3 days. But I don't want the team let me pay the price. I've already made my living. Well, these folks, some of them haven't. And so they don't need to pay a price for my what I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me to pay the price, not you.
Yep.
So that's how we make those calls.
What's amazing is, as a chamber of commerce, we can look at our membership and what makes, whether it's a business owner, someone that's grinding it out every day at a manufacturing plant, or working in a restaurant, or in the education or pastoring position. We've got people all over this county that are passionate about what they do to make Walker County a better place, just like Robert Wardlaw. And so I'm thankful that we've got him that helping lead a lot of us down that path.
Robert, I think the line outside your door every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday would say you were doing something great. Here in Walker County, we are thrilled that you came on and shared just a few moments. We could have you back on because there's so much more we could talk about. Thank you for sharing.
I'm happy to come.
Your words of wisdom. Thank you,
Anytime
Robert.
you want me here, I'll come.
Well, we will
Well, next time you have to
For
bring
sure.
samples.
Yes,
You have
yes.
to bring
That
samples
was,
next time. That's a requirement.
I think that was a way to pull us back into the restaurant, though.
That's
And
right.
tell your team we say hello too. They are Kim and all of the Megan, the whole team down there. Dale, they're just fantastic people too.
Thank you.
And we're happy to know them. So stay tuned for another edition of Walker Talks.
Bye, friends.